From when we're young, we're always told these safety tips, like not to take candy from strangers, stranger danger. We learn about like locking windows and doors so that we don't get robbed. And at a pretty young age, like even before middle school, we're learning in school about reproduction and pregnancy. And like at my school, they had us do this project where it was supposed to be like showing that you can take care of a kid, and they made us like take an egg home for a week and like take care of the egg. Some people had to do like a sack of flour or like a baby doll or something. So they're teaching us all of this kind of stuff, but yet there is no curriculum that teaches us how to choose a safe partner, how to choose a good partner. They teach us about safe sex, but it's not about safe dating. I just find that interesting. There is no curriculum for this. And that's something that I think is really important. You know, so many girls will repeat patterns, repeat generational patterns, end up in toxic relationships, and the worst case, in abusive relationships. And not everyone has a good example or guidance. Maybe you grew up in a toxic or chaotic home, and you may subconsciously be more likely to repeat the cycles. That might be what's normal for you. Or, you know, you could have grown up in an amazingly safe and perfect home, and you still can fall for certain manipulation tactics because you're naive to them, because you didn't grow up around that. So there's this balance, you know, everyone has blind spots. And so we need to make girls have awareness and guidance, solid guidance, like curriculum, in order to prevent domestic abuse. Did you know that the age group with the highest stats of domestic violence against them is young girls? Age 16 to 24 has the highest reports of domestic violence than any other age group. That is crazy. And then 1 in 3 women in general will experience domestic violence or intimate partner violence in their lifetime. 1/3. And this all comes only from reports. So I believe it's actually every woman has experienced abuse, whether it be emotional abuse, financial abuse, because not all abuse is physical. That's also why a lot goes unreported, because there are these hidden or silent forms of abuse that are very difficult to prove. And when you go and try to report them, you don't get much help, because, you know, there's not much they can do. If someone, let's say, held a gun to your head and you go report it, like, can you really prove that he did that, you know? Or even if he just made a verbal threat. You know, it's not something that you have a mark to show for, and that doesn't make it any less real. In fact, that can make it even more damaging. Even if someone does get to the point where they are able to get help from a shelter, I think women's shelters do incredible work, and it's so important. But when I think about it, it's like these women are already seeking help, and they've already experienced so much pain and maybe damage that might be permanent. And if they have children, like, it's involving children, and it's just so enraging that they even had to get to that point. And so what's really important is prevention, and getting to girls when they are at the age either before or in the early stages of when they're beginning to date, to teach them what not to fall for, spotting red flags early, how to leave, how to not be afraid to leave, you know, all these things, so that they never even end up close to that situation or in a situation where they need to escape from, you know? So if you're that girl and you're in your teens or 20s and you are about to start dating, or maybe you've already had some experience, and dating is a big deal. Don't think that just because you're young that it's not a big deal. I wish I could tell my younger self, and wanting to tell you, you are enough. You are whole and worthy on your own. Your life is beautiful. And if you don't think it's beautiful, it can be. You have to build it that way. And a partner should only ever add to that beauty. A partner should come into your world, not be the center of it. They are not your world. No one can save you. You have to save yourself. If you feel like you have strict parents and they're controlling, and do not see a relationship as your way out, because it's not. That's just trading someone's control for someone else's control. No one is here to save you. You need to build up yourself. You need to even know yourself. When you're young, you're still deciding who you are. And I say deciding because you get to choose. It's so important to have hobbies, try a lot of things, try dancing, swimming, hiking, sewing, like knitting, everything. Have your hobbies. They will help you build a sense of self, a sense of confidence. You'll have a life. This will help you be, not so desperate for love, which also will help you to attract a more healthy partner. And your hobbies help you connect and create community, which is so important. If you are a vulnerable and lonely individual, you are more likely to be targeted, to be manipulated. So by having some friends, having a sense of community, and that can be done through hobbies, is very important. And if you are a teenager and you have strict parents or maybe some financial limits, and you're saying, well, I can't do all these hobbies, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It can be something simple. You can, in your house, you can try to learn a handstand. You can try to teach yourself a new skill. If you have a phone that you're watching this on, you can take so many free courses. It's not always easy, trust me. Just do what you can and find what you like to do and try to have a life and try to build up yourself and your sense of individuality. This will help you so much. Really, when it comes to finding your love and finding a healthy partner, it's not so much about finding them. It's about being yourself and building up your own life, not being so desperate for a connection. And naturally, you will attract it. So that's just a little bit of big sister advice for you. There's a lot more. I actually wrote a bunch of it in a book that I'm calling Big Sister Advice. I'll be talking more about this stuff on this channel, so feel free to tune in. I hope this helped, and I'll see you next time.